Hey there, Internet. Keeve here, and welcome to the Cars and Keeve YouTube channel. In this video, we're going over the new McKillans 1/4-inch pressure washer hoses. Now, if you watched several of my videos in the last couple weeks, I've been testing out the McKillans hoses, mainly the red one. This is the M22 based one, and I actually have another red one that has the female QDs on it, because at the time when I bought them, when they first came out, I bought this one on a pre-sale. They had like called the early bird sale, where you signed up for an email list, and when it got released, you got like a 20% discount or something like that. Then I saw that was really on Amazon the same day, and it was a faster delivery. And I was like, well, let's try out the Quick Connect one. So I got the other red one that has the Quick Connects on it instead. But then 2 days ago, I'm just snooping around on Amazon looking for links for the hoses so I could put them in my description of the videos. And then I see they got a gray hose. 100 feet, I'm going to go 5/16 or 3/8. But a 1/4-inch hose at 50 feet, I think we're okay. And in this video, we're going to do the performance rating differences between the two to see if there really is that much of a noticeable difference. The M22 on these is really good because most other companies, almost all other companies, this inside piece right here is just steel. As you can see right here, that is high quality stainless, and you have Viton O-rings as well. Much stronger, more durable, handles acids better, stuff like that. I mean, I really don't want if you want to be shooting acids through here, but if you're definitely shooting soft wash, like you're shooting bleach onto the house through a detergent tank or something, the Viton seals is going to be really helpful on that. As you can see, 3,300 PSI rated, and then max temp of 140 degrees. And you can see the hose itself. When you pull, it's going to want to undo as long as you have a swivel on this end, right? So, but if you hold it like this, it'll just go and go and go. But you see, it's still not really kinking. The Quick Disconnect hose is the exact same hose. It's just gray. It comes with 2 female quick disconnects. What I wish they did is put a female on one side and the male on the other side, and shipped 1 extra female quick disconnect so people could have that option. The quick disconnect on this is real nice. Thread's really nice, and what they do here is they don't use thread lock, they just use Teflon tape. It's easy to take on and off if you need to switch this out for a male. And then on one end, it has a swivel. And this is the same. You see we have the swivel. It's going to want to pull out of that kink. I've been doing the main part of my wash outside, the very first part of the wash, and I have had no red transfer on my concrete that I know of so far. I don't have asphalt to know if asphalt, the black asphalt, transfers to the red or the gray. I have no idea. Now this right here is why you want stainless steel on that inner part. That is not superficial rust. That is pitting on this steel, and it has been beat up. There's already to 3,100 PSI. 140 degrees. Outer piece on the McKillans just feels so much sturdier than just plastic. There is metal on the inside. This one, the metal seems to be a little bit more robust, a little bit more a part of the assembly of it, and definitely much less overall diameter. Seems to be aluminum here on the outer part, not stainless steel. I don't quite know or can tell here because it's so dang rusty on the inside of this one. Now the Uberflex though, at 50 feet for $50 is a really good deal, and it's made in the USA. It's just a really good deal. The McKillans M22 is $70, and the Quick Disconnect one is $75. These go on here really, really smooth. But what I noticed is the stainless steel really helped point out my rust issues. So can you see it down there? That little rust ring all the way kind of down there towards the edge on the inside. It's just a brown ring, and it's on both. There's 2 of these. Both of them have that. But it's just staining. It's not eating the stainless. So real quick, I want to show you how I remove that rust. This is RRR from Koch Chemie. This is reactive rust remover. And you can put it in a spray bottle. You spray it on full strength. You just kind of coat the area, let it sit for 3 to 5 minutes. But you can also just dip your Quick Connect in there like so. I have my New York Foam Kings kit. I needed $20-something to get free shipping from the House of Rags, so I bought the New York Foam Kings thing, but it's actually like 30 or 40 bucks, I think. But what I'm using this for is this little piece right here and this one right here, these bigger ones. All right, you can see the purple stuff kind of building up in there, just like any of these kind of wheel cleaners or stuff. So I just take it out. I'll take this, I'll dip it in there too, give a little bit extra, and then we'll just work it. Then also this one as well can be used. This one really helps you kind of dig and get some friction in some of those areas. We need to rinse that off. And what better than my Sit the Memo gun here on the red McKillans hose that I told you about. It's been sitting on my reel for about 4 days now. Just trying to see how much I like it, if I'm going to make a switch. So you can see on the inside that superficial rust is all gone now. You can do that with any stainless steel or brass fitting, help clean them up. You know, mine get pretty nasty pretty quick. I really never really talked about it in videos, but I'm like, you know what? We can show our faults. And I seem to have a rust issue, even though my water seems to be really good. That's why I'm changing my pre-filter setup from 2 carbon filter setups to 1 carbon filter manganese removal filter and then a carbon activated iron removal. They're not going to remove it all, but they're going to help, and the carbon is going to deal with the chlorine at the same time. So I'm getting even more benefit. Just a little bit more expensive on the filters. And I got to say the RRR is nowhere near that rotten egg smell that some iron removers are. It's got a little bit more sweet to it, but that scent, it lingers. The Koch Chemie RRR, you can find it at Car Supplies Warehouse. Code KEEF10 will save you 10%, or you can get on Amazon, link below. New York Foam Kings, the House of Rags, code KEEF, you save you 10%. The expansion and contraction happens on the Uberflex. It doesn't have a braiding holding that tube in a specific way to not allow it to grow and expand. Most pressure washers don't have a problem with it. The Active 2.0 is probably the biggest one. It causes the pressure switch not to turn off. It's what we call surging, because the hose is just expanding throughout the whole 50 feet, and it's causing that pressure switch to take longer and longer and longer to shut off. From a hose standpoint, for me, I want steel braided or Kevlar or some type of braiding. Now, this was my current favorite hose. This is the Blushield Kevlar, or they call it Aramid, because Kevlar is kind of trademarked by DuPont. So what makes a bulletproof vest lighter is that weave, right? That Kevlar weave. Well, they use that same weave to braid the hose to give you that protection and strength of steel, but as light as Kevlar. The 1/4-inch hose and this 3/8-inch hose are the exact same weight. It's pretty crazy, right? Now, this hose is not cheap. It can be found for about $100. There's a gray version on Home Depot. I'll put it in the product tags below. And that doesn't even come with quick connects. Don't buy the one on Amazon. It is uber expensive on Amazon. Just like McKillans, one side has a swivel. And I'm telling you, this big 3/8-inch hose, look at this. When it's got the swivel, and it is like, it's flexible. So let's just go ahead and weigh these up. I have it's basically a fish scale. Zeroed out. What is the weight? 7 pounds, 5 ounces. The McKillans M22. Now this is just the M22s. If you wanted to add quick connects to it, obviously it's gonna make it weigh a little bit more. And it weighs in at 7 pounds, 5 ounces. That is the exact same weight. Gray one here. It weighs 7 pounds, 1 ounce. Because you have the metal here, quick connect, feels heavier. Let's lay it out one more time. Zeroed out. I'm even like giving it a shake. 7 pounds, 1 ounce. 7 pounds, 5 ounces. I couldn't tell you what's the difference between the two. Now this right here is why you get the Uberflex hose. 3 pounds, 9 ounces. Basically half. I have no skin in this game at all. I could sell as many Uberflex hoses as I could McKillans, as I could Blushield. I could be just saying, hey, go buy Josh Quiverflex hose. He's my friend. But like I said, I don't have a skin in the game. I'm picking what I want. So there you go. Don't forget to check the links below for anything in the video. Let's go have some fun checking this stuff out, putting on the hose reel. At the end of the video, I'll show you how to give some hype points. If you feel I deserve some, go ahead and give me some for the video. If not, I'll show you a small creator at the end that you can support and show you how to give hype points. Let's have some fun. All right, we're over by the setup. You can see we have the AR630 V2 up top. That's going to be the biggest thing for me. What is the performance difference between the 3/8-inch hose and the 1/4-inch hose at 50 feet? We have the fixed fans retractable hose reel here. It's my favorite one. Had it for a couple years now. Like I said, the red hose, I don't like the color as much. The gray is going to be much better. That's the one I'm going to want to use over here. But that smaller diameter makes a big difference on the reel, because obviously less diameter, that's less revolutions that are needed to spin in and out. It unravels easier and it goes back in easier. It just feels a little bit better. I really can't explain it. It's just my experience that I've had over the last 3 or 4 days. It just feels much better with the smaller hose. I'll link the video below for it. The video on the Blushield hose and the Uberflex hose and all that kind of stuff. I'll just go ahead and take this off now. And we'll pop that. And that's the great thing about the auto lock is I have the 1/4" male here to kind of hold the gun if I need it. And this McKillans here, I added this McKillans to this, but that push lock is just like, boom. So now that the pressure's relieved, I can click off my quick disconnect, pull my hose out, just like that. You can see on this end, I had to remove their female to put a male on this end. But we didn't put it on here much. And there we go. Like I said, the swivel side is the side that I would prefer to be near the gun. But that also depends on your hose reel. If your hose reel doesn't have the quick connect or you don't have a quick connect on there, you're going to want to screw it in. Well, when you screw it in, you're going to want to just this part to move. You don't want a fixed thread and then put on and then have to spin the whole hose. All 50 feet of it have to spin around each one of those thread turns. That's where that swivel really comes in handy there. So this really is a big deal to a lot of people, is that they want to be able to put their own quick connects on these hoses. Some of these hoses, it's tough, but man, they really thread lock them on there. But like I said, this, boom. Didn't need a vise, didn't need 16-inch long wrenches. There it came off, you can see, just Teflon tape. So I can just take my quick disconnect here, and it slides on really good. And they're both McKillans products, so they should work best together. That should be with anything out there, any fitting. The manufacturer's fittings all tend to work together best. Now we're gonna remove this side. Obviously they're under a little bit, but you can see, boom. Then on this side we have our male. I could change out the quick connect on this to a male, but that is way more difficult than doing this right here. And for most of what I do, I'd prefer this anyway. And they didn't put the Teflon tape on in the right direction, no. There we go. So your M22 hose, to hook up to one of these hose reels, you're gonna need one of 2 adapters. This one has the female quick disconnect on it. I can just get one of these. It's an M22 to 1/4" male quick disconnect. That's what I'm gonna use here. Or this right here is an M22 to 3/8" and this is a 14mm hose, by the way. That's gonna allow you to thread in just about any hose reel out there. They're all pretty much 3/8" MPT threaded. But I'm gonna be using this one. When you go through this hole here, that doesn't line up with the quick connect. In order for it to line up with the quick connect, it needs to be all the way up here. So I'm seating in there, but it's seated at an angle and not dead straight. So I can't click it in because the diameter of the M22 is still touching up here and won't let me go all the way up. That is why I had to alter this. This helps it fit through that opening, but also gives me the area I need to be able to flatten this out. But then as you can see, I'm able to put this all the way up in order to where it can connect. Yeah, there we go. Takes a little finagling, but it's in there. And as you can see, that's why, because the hose is able to come all the way up here in the corner. So you would have to alter the McKillans to be able to get it to fit on this hose reel, the way it's currently set up. All right, let's hook up our hose. Obviously, if it's like this, you're gonna want to feed down and then in. This is so much easier than with the M22 because this hose just fit just right. So now we need to come off our lock here and this way. So I want to lock it in this position and not reel it in yet. I want to perfectly straighten this hose out first. Any hose that you buy, when you get it, don't use it while it's in a coiled up state, just using that first 10 feet or however long you need it. You need to pull that hose out, have it fixed to something like this so you can kind of pull and yank on it just a little bit, twist it a little bit, get it all the curvature that it had packed in all that packing material, the box, the zip ties, whatever's holding it together for so long, and let it straighten out. It's going to reel in so much better. It's going to work so much better for you when you're working on your car, all those kinds of things. All right, see how nice and straight this is? I kind of moved the camera in a little bit because it was blocking my perfectly straight hose line. Let's just see if we can guide this just by hand. That wasn't so bad, was it? All right, here we go. OCD. That's a little bit better. I actually think the regular reel way wasn't so bad. So it's much better right here hanging, but I usually use the gun, which now that it's push connect on the hose, I can just go pop. Then I'll let it sit like that. All right, we're gonna turn the pressure washer on. So we're working on pressurized water. Why would we judge the usability around an object or the flexibility with it not having any pressure in it? That doesn't make any sense. Hose reeling in and out, you really should have your pressure relieved when you're pulling it out and when you're reeling it in. That's what most manufacturers say, but I don't really do that. This hose, like I said, with the smaller diameter, it feels different than the 3/8 hose. It's just the larger diameter of it. This just feels better to me. Like I like it more. I just do. So hoses are gonna loop no matter what you do. You can see how easy you can create a loop. It's how they pull out of that loop that matters. All of these good hoses should pull out of that loop pretty easily. And if you pull on too tight, they're not gonna like crunch and, you know, create a pinch to where the water stops flowing. You should just be able to pull out of them. The swivel on the gun is gonna help. If you have a hose like this and you put the swivel on this end by the gun, and your gun doesn't have a swivel, then it's still gonna help. If you don't have a swivel, then you're gonna have to do one of these things where you're twisting the gun like this to undo it. But you see this, my swivel is not allowing that to happen. But if I pull on these, the swivel on my gun should undo both of those loops just like that. So we want to simulate going around the car. And we have that loop back there, which can get caught on the side of a wheel. Is this going to undo? Yes, it does. Now we're working our way around the car. If we just go back this way, we create a loop in our hose. But like I said, we should be able to come this way and the swivel is going to pull that loop out. That's all we're really looking for. And how much is the hose fighting you when you're moving around? One thing you need to worry about with that is, where is the pressure washer? Is it mounted to where if a pull isn't going to mess anything up? If it's just sitting on the ground, it could probably pull towards you. And if the loop is stubborn enough, you may just pull the pressure washer towards you and the loop may not come out. That's when the swivel really comes in to help, or twisting the gun. Because when you create that loop and you don't want to pull your pressure washer, so you can't really pull the loop out yourself, you would use the swivel and you would just twist your hand to pull that loop out. It's heavy enough to kind of lay on the ground and not want to do crazy things like a lighter hose can, because when you make those corrections with your hand, the lighter hose is going to move a lot more. So you have that risk of scratching the side of the car. All right, we got the gray hose off of the reel. We are now plugging it directly into the 630 V2 so they both can be on the same playing field. See what we can get. About 890, which is about what I'm expecting on my circuit with the R630 V2. Now, I'm warning you, the meter on the wall is off by 5, sometimes close to 10% on this meter, but they're accurate to that, like they're very consistent. So that way you'll know that this is a 2.3 gallon per minute machine, but it may only be like 2.15 or something like that over here. All right, here we go. 2.10 gallons per minute at 890 PSI. So all we're doing is we're turning this off and this off. Put this on and swapping this out. Turn water on. Now, if you notice with the 1/4 hose, it took a little bit less time when you turned it on for it to build up pressure and the switch to kick in. On the 3/8 hose takes a little bit longer. I noticed that when I was washing as well. I was like, oh, that's a little bit quicker. It's even a little bit quicker on some of the ramp up and ramp down on the gun as well, because obviously there's just less diameter in the hose to build pressure in. Pressure switch turns off faster. But we're talking a very minute amount of time, not enough for most people to even notice. Here we go. So 999, so about 9 more PSI. Is that noticeable? Not at all. Is it more? Yes, it is more, but 9 PSI. I would expect if you did over 100 feet, that probably doubles or even triples, because obviously at length, the pressure drop continues to grow as the hose gets longer and longer and longer. That's why you need to up your diameter to go further out. Same thing with electrical cables. The further you go, the bigger they need to be. But let's check out that gallons per minute. 2.12 gallons per minute. So we've improved in gallons per minute, 0.02. Is that noticeable? No. Is it more? Yes, it's more. Is it enough performance to offset what I'm liking about the 1/4" hose? Not enough at 50 feet. The difference is crazy when it's under pressure. We're under pressure, so you see the difference in the flexibility of this hose when it's under pressure? Like, see how much more wavier it is? That's the biggest difference I was feeling around the car, because when you're comparing them when they don't have pressure, they act differently. That Kevlar hose acts differently. And I think I did videos in the past and I didn't really do them under pressure, and I should have. But I'm getting better, I'm getting better. You hear that difference, how much longer it took? There's more diameter to fill up, so it takes a little bit longer for it to kick off. So here's the, you saw that gray hose. See the difference in how cumbersome it is, how less flexible it is when it's under pressure, and heavier for sure. But I'm going with the 1/4" hose. I'm going with the McKillans 1/4" gray hose. No Uberflex, no more Kevlar. If they make a Kevlar 1/4" hose, that'd be great. But Blushield makes a polyester braided 1/4" hose. They should make a Kevlar 1/4" hose, and I would be getting that all day long. But for now, the McKillans, it's the way to go for me. So there you go. And don't forget, Keeve 10 will save you 10% at Car Supplies Warehouse for Koch Chemie products. The New York Foam Kings kit you can find at the House of Rags. Code Cars and Keeve will save you 10% as well. Now, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, check the links below for anything in the video. But when it comes to hype points, if you feel I deserve them, right now it's only available on mobile, but hopefully it'll be available in more places soon. But you come to your favorite creator, and as long as they're a partner in YouTube, usually mean they have 1,000 subscribers and they're monetized, then if they posted in the last 7 days, you can give him some hype points. The comments down here, just slide to the left. You can see he's already gotten 4,740 points. This is Papa Smurf 918. Great dude. Met him at SEMA. Really nice guy. Great videos. He's posted in the last 7 days, unlike a lot of people. So we hit hype. It says I can give him 1.5 thousand points. And now he has 6,320 hype points. That is meant for channels with less than 500,000 subscribers. So the smaller channels have a better chance to grow organically through some kind of trending system. But there you go. I'll see you in the next video. The quick disconnect is oh my gosh. Bought the red quick disconnect one, 20% off on big prime. God damn. Grass scraper blade. Grass scrape. So before we add our quick disconnects, so when you let off, oh my gosh. So when you let off the trip, so you stop the pressure weight. God damn it, I can't talk. Pressure washers, depending on. So when you release the trigger on a pressure washer, the total starts to. So when you press, oh my gosh, I cannot say it. I've been here for 5 minutes. Can I get it off? Yeah, there we go. Oh wow. The wrench took my microphone. You're so stupid. This is the only way I get myself to smile properly is to laugh at myself. Because when it's just the fake smile, it just doesn't do the same. Stupid stuff for thumbnails.